Dear students of class 11th, Assalamu alaikum. Today our topic is the Browning version. It is lesson number 6 of your textbook English core Hornbill. This lesson is written by Trans Ratigan. This lesson, the Browning version, is an excerpt, means it has been taken from Robert Brown's translation of the great Greek tragedy Agamemnon, which was written by Aeschylus, the then great Greek dramatist. This lesson is in the form of a dialogue. A short fillet which is set in a school. The setting of the story is a school, and this lesson story highlights the attitude of a teenage student towards his teacher. The comments of the teenage student are shocking, but they are very closely related to the truth. This story also highlights the behavior of teachers. Through this story, we came to know that there are two types of teachers. The one group is which are not those teachers who are not serious towards their job, who merely take the teaching profession just for enjoyment and just to spend time. Such type of teachers are neither dedicated nor they lack missionary zeal and such type of teachers are not motivated in teaching. They are slackers. They seek work. And these teachers become slaves of students. The students praise them, they flatter them, and they befriend them in order to score, in order to fetch marks or upgrade their scores. Such type of teachers are being used too by student community. And they become easy victims to flattery and are being used by the students as toys, etc. While as there is another group of teachers which are disciplined, strict, having sense of duty and sense of responsibility. They are real masters of their subject as well as students. The students obey them, they follow them even in their absence. This becomes evident in this lesson, in this short film. The author has portrayed indisciplined, unmotivated and uninteresting teachers in the shape of Mr. Frank, who is science teacher in the school. He is not taking his job seriously, who is playing the kids and killers are playing with him. There is other teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris. He has been portrayed as a great disciplinarian, a strict and hardworking teacher who is following the rules and regulations of the institution. With sincerity. There is the teenage student, Mr. Teenage student in the lesson who comments on the teachers is tableau. And there is another character in the story who is Miss Crocker Harris. She is wife of Mr. Crocker. Mr. Frank is young teacher, young. Mr. Crocker Harris is middle-aged. Mr. Frank is teaching science, while as Mr. Crocker Harris is teaching Agamemnon, that is humanities. Language. It is page number 50 of your textbook. Please open your textbook. Listen carefully and try to comprehend the text and the message conveyed by the author. This is an excerpt from the Browning version. The scene is set in the school. Frank is young and Crocker Harris middle-aged. Both are masters. Tableau is a boy of 16 who has come in to do extra work for Crocker Harris, but the latter has not yet arrived, and Frank finds Tableau waiting. Frank, do I know you? Tableau, no sir. Frank, what is your name? Tableau, Tableau. Frank, Tableau, no, I don't. You are not a scientist, I gather. Tableau, no sir, I am still in the lower fifth. I can't specialize until next term. That is to say, if I have got my removers or remove, all right. The new word remove. Remove means promotion to next class. See, this play is set in school. Tableau, the teenage boy, is waiting in the school. The schooling hours are over. He has been kept in, means he has been detained. He has been asked by his teacher to stay in the school. The teacher is not there. He has gone somewhere. The boy is waiting for this teacher. The name of the teacher for whom Tableau is waiting is Mr. Crocker Harris. The boy is alone. Just then, Mr. Frank, the science teacher who is young and energetic, comes in. Mr. Frank. He tells the boy that who is he, for whom he is waiting, why he is sitting alone in the school. The boy tells Mr. Frank that he is waiting for Mr. Crocker Harris, his teacher. Mr. Frank tells him that he is not knowing him because he is not a science student. Frank tells him that he is still in lower 5th grade. So he is not required to opt for any specialization. When he will be promoted to next grade, that is 5th class, he will specialize, he will opt for specialization. Mr. Frank tells the boy that has he not been told by his foreign teacher, by his class teacher, Crocker Harris, about his remove means about his promotion. The boy tells Mr. Frank, science teacher, that Mr. Crocker doesn't tell the result like other masters. The examination, term examination, is just over. In the opinion of the boy, other masters tell result to the students beforehand, before announcement of the result. But to him, his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, is accepting this rule. He is not telling students the result beforehand. Now, in order to continue the talk, Mr. Frank tells him that why he is not telling results beforehand, like other teachers, to the students. Tableau, well, you know what he is like, sir. Frank, I believe that the rule that form results should only be announced by the headmaster on the last day of term. Tableau, yes, but who else pays attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? Now, Frank, in in reply to Mr. Frank's question, Tableau tells Mr. Frank that all teachers and students know Mr. Crocker Harris. Mr. Crocker Harris is a student teacher. His behavior is unique. Though other teachers announce the results, tell students beforehand that they have been promoted, the result is this and that, but he is keeping this Mr. Crocker Harris is like a stone, he is keeping mum. He is not telling, his attitude is known to everyone. Frank tells him that there is a rule. So far as he is concerned, to him there is a rule. He believes, his belief is that there is a rule that forum results should only be announced by the headmaster on the last day of the term. Mr. Frank tells him that there is a rule in the institution that final forum results, class results, are being announced on the last day of the school. They are only announced by head of the institution, not by teachers. Tableau, yes, but who else pays attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? Tableau tells Mr. Frank that it is real, it is reality, it is a rule that result is only announced by headmaster on the final day of the school. But who else pays heed to it? No teacher in the institution follows this rule except Mr. Crocker. None obeys, none follows this rule in letter and spirit. No follows school rules and regulations, but only my teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, for whom he is waiting, who has kept him in. Frank, I don't. I admit, but that is no standard, no criterion. Criterion means standard. So you have got to wait until tomorrow to know your fate, have you? Now Frank tells him that it is not criterion. Now you are supposed to wait till tomorrow morning because it is last day of school. Tomorrow result will be announced by headmaster. So he is supposed to wait to know his fate tomorrow. Frank, supposing the answer is favorable, what then? Tableau, oh, signers, sir, of course. Frank said yes. We get all the flaggers. Tableau, protestingly, I am extremely interested in signers. Frank, are you? I am not at least in the signers I have to teach. Tableau, well anyway, sir, it is good deal more exciting than this mug indicating his book. Frank, what is this mug? Tableau, ichla sir de MAGAM. Mem, no. Frank, and your considered view is that the Agamemnon is muck. Tableau, well, no, sir, I don't think the play is muck. Exactly. I suppose in a way it is rather a good plot, really a wife murdering her husband, and all that. I only mean the way it is taught us, just a lot of Greek words strung together and 50 liners if one gets them wrong. Frank, you sound a better angry. Tableau. tableau, I am rather sorry. See, now Mr. Frank posed a question to tableau. He tells him that if tomorrow he would succeed, he would get through the examination of lower grade and be promoted fifth. And fifth, he has to specialize, he has to opt for any specialization. What he would opt? In a reply to the question posed by Mr. Frank, tableau answers that he will opt for science, he will take science. On hearing this, Mr. Frank straightforwardly tells tableau that if he is willing to opt for science, but I as science teacher am not interested in teaching science. In this way, the young teacher, Mr. Frank, opens his heart before the teenage student. In one way, he discourages students, and on the other way, he opens his heart before the student that it is better for him not to take science. The subject which Mr. Frank is supposed to teach. But tableau, on the other hand, tells Mr. Frank that it is better for me to opt for science after getting promoted to fifth than taking this book. He held us his book, which is probably Agamemnon, the play, which his teacher, Mr. Crocker Harris, was teaching in the class. By buck, he means rubbish and useless. The student clearly tells the teacher, Mr. Science teacher, young teacher, Mr. Frank, that it is better for him to opt for science rather than this useless book. Though the teacher is not motivated in science, is not motivated to teach science, besides entrusted science, teaching of science as a subject. Now, in order to carry on the conversation, Mr. Frank tells tableau that what is this book? Tableau says Ichlas, that the Agamemnon. Mr. Frank tells tableau that why he considers this book a useless and rubbish matter tableau tells him that this play is not marked exactly. It is having a good plot. Plot means sequence of events. There is an event that a wife is being murdered by a wife. A wife murders her husband, etc. The plot is very good, but the way he is being taught in the school by Mr. Crocker Harris is boring, is rubbish, is not being liked by him. Because the teacher, Mr. Harris Crocker, tells them to learn each and every word by heart. And if they commit one mistake, if they write a line with mistake, they are being asked to write 50 liners in order to rectify their errors. So behind the facet, the child, the teenage standard tells us truth and explores before the science teacher, who is not taking his profession keenly with dedication. He explores Mr. Harris to be a dedicated one. Now, in order to carry on the conversation, Mr. Frank tells that tableau that you sound a little bitter. Tableau replies that it is true. Frank tells him that he has been kept in. He has been detained by the teacher. It might be reason. Tableau tells us it is not the reason that he has been kept in, but the extra work which he is being assigned by the teacher on this day. Frank tells him that you are being assigned extra work, that too on the last day of the school. By our teacher. Actually, he wants us to expose something, because those teachers were not serious in their job. They are having envy towards the teachers who are dedicated and who are having sense of responsibility and sense of duty toward them, who are teaching students wholeheartedly. They are having envy. So in order to explore him, he is continuing the conversation with the teenage boy in absence of the teacher for whom he is waiting. He tells him that extra work. Tableau tells him that, sir, I might be playing golf, because whether if you would think he had have enough to do anyway himself, considering he is leaving tomorrow for good. But oh no, I mistake a day last week whether I was ill. So here I am, and look at the weather, sir. The boy tells him that, sir, I am missed